good morning and welcome to the program. Today is the third day of June in 2020, and of course, it's a great Wednesday morning right here in the studios of African Patriot Radio with a Morning Patriot. All right, I'm sure that you've been having a great day already, but it promises to be a swell time as we take you on our Wednesday cruise. We got a couple of programs lined up for you. Of course, you know how we do it. Shortly, we'll bring you our motivational quotes. We'll bring you some musical breaks. We'll take you across Africa, for some COVID-19 updates as well as trends. We'll also bring you entertainment and, of course, our teaser for the day. We got a special one for you today. Like I said yesterday, but wait for it. Don't rush. All right, my name is Susan Achin, and you can call me the Slick Susie.
Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Africa. My name is Messi Joe.
Yeah, wake up and greet the people.
Hello, planet Earth. This is the Godfather. You can call me Yao. How you doing?
How y'all doing this morning?
How you guys feeling?
What do you mean? In what context?
No, as in how you feel in general. How is the vibe like today?
How's the vibe like?
Today?
It's vibeless,
Hey.
No, what I mean vibeless, not
Yeah.
like vibeless. I mean it's priceless, vibeless.
I think y'all is under the weather.
I reject it for you.
It's priceless. I mean, the vibe is priceless, and it's something that I've always loved, hanging out with you ladies.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, stop it.
Shout out to us ladies.
Yeah,
then.
today's Woman Crush Wednesday.
You guys should not make me regret it.
Okay, you guys should not get it twisted. The proud person here is Messi Joe. Okay, I'll just have backup today.
No, Susan, don't put me on the
Don't get it
spotlight.
twisted. Look at them.
Don't put me on
Seated on
that
the throne of pride.
spotlight.
Seated on the throne of pride. All right, guys, we're going on a short break, and when we come back, our inspirational quotes. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break. This is African Patriot Radio, and this is our motivational quote segment. Now, listen to this one. It says, "The ultimate measure of a man's worth is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." I take it one more time. The ultimate measure of a man's worth is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And this quote is by the legendary Martin Luther King Jr. Now, what am I saying? You know how it's easy for everyone, to be strong when they're happy, when all is good, when everything is smiling right back at them, when there's money, when there's joy, when everything is going all right around them. Now, how do you measure someone's worth, what someone is worth? It is measured when that person is experiencing challenges or controversy, not when you're comfortable, and it's convenient. So you should really, really watch out for times of discomfort and times of controversy and times of challenges, because those times go a long way to define what you really are worth. Those are the times that when you look back, when posterity can read through. I mean, talking about for the person who even did this quote, Martin Luther King, we saw him experiencing so many challenges and controversy because he had a dream and he needed to see that dream come to pass. Now, we saw how he stood strong, he was murdered and all that, but at the end of the day, we are reading and living through his life. Why? Because he proved his worth in those times of controversy and those times of challenges. So you need to watch out. It's not gonna be rosy. We keep saying this here. It's not all gonna be rosy. Everything is not just gonna be smiling right back at you every single other day. But you have to be strong and prove in those times of challenges when every other person is giving up. You are not the one to give up. You are the one that will say, no, I gotta stand strong. I want to be the person that my kids will look back and say, well, I want to be like you because I saw what you did in these times. Now, that is what makes you strong. Times of inconvenience, times when all you want to do is give up, all you want to do is just run away. Sometimes I really feel like running away anyways. But for my own self too. I want to run away from my skin, but I just find that I'm stuck here. So, face the challenge, and take the bull by the horn and just face it already and be strong. Because you're not just being strong for yourself, like I said. Remember posterity, remember future generations will look back, to see what you did. So be strong. It's not about you, it's about the people that are looking up to you. So once more I read it and then we round up here, it says, the ultimate measure of a man's worth is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And that one is by Martin Luther King, brought to you by Susan Achin, aka The Slick Susie. Still on African Patriot Radio. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll be going across Africa to see what's going on. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Still live on African Patriot Radio with the Slick Susie and Hayat people, MJ and
Yes.
Father. Hi
Yes.
guys, once again.
Hi,
Did you say
Susie.
yard people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
guys are my
country
yard
people.
Okay. It's been long I heard that word. Yeah.
Yeah, people. Hi,
just-
Susie.
Yeah, hi.
You just
Hi,
have a
Mimi.
way. You just have a way of
Do,
doing
do, do
things
that.
back.
Susan, Susie, that's you
I
understand.
know. Coded.
Your motivational quote for today really got me there.
Oh.
Yes, because actually how you handle your hardest days tells a lot about who you are and how you can handle situations. Because regardless, people are looking at your strength. Your strength, you don't know your strength is actually giving another person strength.
Right.
So keep carrying on regardless of whatever situation or whatever is slapping you on the face each and every other day.
Hi, God.
Okay.
Now for this girl.
They say you never
Now
know.
me talk the code. See who. What is this?
Yeah,
You know,
this
you
is
know,
it.
you know.
What is this?
Now this is it.
Mad up.
They say you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have.
You have left.
So
Who are these guys?
Susie, don't vex, I beg.
so the thing is being strong in times of when everybody thought you should be crying and going. That is
weak.
what really defines the kind of person you are.
Exactly.
That is when people know your worth, the strength in you. So I just encourage people.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as there's life, there's hope.
True.
The beginning is always that time you choose to start again.
Right.
So you just hold on to it
Oh,
and never
my
let go.
God. See,
It's
these
just-
people are-
Never let go.
Sorry, guys, but just in case you're here tomorrow and you see only me, know that I cannot. What is this?
She chased us like she
How
kicked
can-
us out.
This one is like 15 lights on his head, spotlights, 55 lights on her head. What is it?
I'm proud.
Well, in case tomorrow
What kind of Even myself that did a quote, I'm wondering. I don't even know what I
When
did
and
again.
how?
Anyways, but seriously, guys, the only word I can use. I mean, you guys. I mean, but I've been seriously blessed by these guys. This morning.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
we're
strong.
lucky. We're
I- no,
lucky. We're
the
lucky.
last thing I want
aren't
to
we?
do is to fan their pride to flame, but I don't have a choice. I cannot lie. It's the truth. I hope you guys heard it. I mean, they couldn't have said it better. Seriously. I mean, these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they make things work. I mean, that's just how.
That's
they
how
are.
we
You
roll.
That's how
out
they
there,
roll.
you out there is work for us right here. Because of you, we're here.
Okay, these guys are trying to carry us to another level. But anyways, we'll go straight to Chris Africa to see what's going on with COVID-19.
This is it. I think I just can't wait for the day when I come in here and I don't have to do this update.
That day is
I
coming.
just can't
The day
wait
is
for it
coming.
because
At least there's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see that light. I just hope we're close to it.
I pray that the tunnel was in a broad daylight so that the light
I
will be
mean, so
seen.
that it will be very bright.
Yeah, very bright.
Okay, let's go straight up for the coronavirus update from yesterday.
All right.
Okay, it's 18,313 recovered cases.
Okay.
Wow. So at least unlike some places where some countries where their recoveries are just like probably still on like a 1% bench, and then their whole active cases are
Yeah.
like 99%
Yeah,
bench. South Africa doing some things, I guess. Are they kind of like test people randomly now? Is that what's happening? That we're having 1,000 plus cases?
I mean, I really want to know how they're going about. You know,
They don't
this
always
case
put that
coming
out.
about these cases.
They always
It's
put
not,
that
it's
out.
not put out yet.
Okay, let's take a look at Egypt. Egypt recorded 1,000. Later on, this nurse now starts exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19.
All the strength that they can have, all the staff strength they can have at this very trying moment. You have a church that is large enough to contain 1,000 people as long as there's social distancing.
And how would you do that?
That is what I do not know.
That's what
And
we are
then-
trying to
Because we even
understand
have
and how they
arm-
want to
we
do
even have
it.
chairs without armrests such that they can be able to contain, because the number of people are so many that they have to, get slimmer chairs.
So people's
to
bodies can
contain
actually
people.
still be
so
on
when you're now
others.
saying a church that already has an auditorium of people, 1,000 seater, should now, maintain social distancing, and then they should just go for 1 hour, and then they should now queue, to get tested.
the part
It's
where-
like the
the
virus does not circulate within 1 hour.
So I'm really wondering.
The part where I
How
got to hear, okay,
easy.
you need to sanitize your hands with alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Temperature, you have to check the temperature. Walking
Fuzzy.
into church and then mask, hand sanitizer. Some couple of days ago, this stuff they used in checking your
Thermometer.
thermometer. A friend of mine and some other group of people, we went to this organization, and when we got there, the security guard brought out the thermometer and checked my friend. His temperature was, I think it was reading 37.
Wow.
And then the other guy was 38, very high. And he tried to explain to the guy that, look, we just left the sun. Like, we've been working for 20 minutes to get here. You just can't just want our...
Viewing if they should actually reopen.
Yes.
Prophet Tibi Joshua actually said he's not going to reopen the church until he hears from God.
You
Yes,
imagine
so-
how that church is. If you've been to that
I've
church,
been there,
I
so
hope
If you've been to
serious
church,
now.
you
that
should
church
know.
is
So
no
it's massive. So
the
I'm
stampede to
imagining-
go in there.
So I'm imagining. How do you?
If there was a COVID-19 patient, you won't be able to escape.
I've
it.
been there times and I know how like what it was like
Wow.
going in and then at the
Do
same
you understand?
time coming out.
I mean.
And they always have overflow congregations.
Several overflows.
Several,
They are
not
there
one.
for that kind of large congregation now.
You know,
Imagine that you even have
we know there are
all that it
churches.
takes. How do you even get the people to carry out these procedures?
You know,
That's
there are
another
churches
issue.
that run more than one service.
Yeah.
6 to 7.
So
Five,
so,
4 services.
so for such churches, I think they should look for a way to still break it down because of
Yeah, I was
this.
saying
And
that,
that-
I was saying
and
Well,
then-
I think it depends on various people and everyone else.
And
I think some people, until they feel safe enough, they might not go to church.
Some religious leaders will not open up their places of worship just immediately, just because the federal government has given the go-ahead. I'm very sure about that one. And a lot of congregants will also not just rush to church. So they said, we do not have a problem with the WHO. We have a problem with the WHO's representative in Malabo. Prime Minister Pasquale Obama Asue is quoted as saying while appearing Friday. So He said a source at the UN office in the capital said the government has asked her to go because they've received the document that she's accused of falsifying COVID-19 figures.
That's serious.
Now the matter they don't they settle since.
So I mean, this is like the umpteenth time that we're
Is
hearing of
this-
African
Yes.
countries sending community representatives away
Out,
because
away.
of very similar issues. What,
This should be like the third one I'm
Yes,
hearing of now.
yes.
I mean, this is disturbing. Are we supposed to get
Falsifying.
worried about the numbers coming out of Nigeria and then the numbers coming out of
Of
every other African
Ara-
countries?
African.
Because
And
I
it from
think
a WHO
now,
representative.
this is what I'm saying. Are we supposed to be worried? Are these figures they're actually giving us with what is happening? Are they real?
okay.
When all these kind of stories
When
come
the-
up,
when
who
stories
would
like
not be
this,
worried?
who
Who
would not
wouldn't
be
want to
worried?
be worried? Because
Questions
questions upon
will be
questions.
asked.
You know, we asked this question one time. How can the federal government
How authentic?
tell us to our faces that they're really very accurate to these figures that they're giving to us? Because this kind of stories come out. Full operation.
I mean, 5 days a week and for full hours. Banks have been operational, markets have been operational, place of worship have been operational, and then we have decided not to talk about testing. That means, in the long run, one day we'll wake up and we'll hear, oh, we can no more be releasing figures. There was this African country, I've forgotten now.
They
that
stopped
completely-
releasing.
Yes, they stopped.
You were telling me the
Yeah,
other
the
day.
president said there's no need. That we so
Okay.
the whole every day we record these
I
cases.
don't
He
understand.
completely stopped it because we were talking about other diseases that are happening alongside, you know, and other crimes as well. You know, the fact that you were saying earlier on this morning about the high rise in cases, criminal cases. and
Yes,
rape,
molestation,
you know,
rape,
molestation,
domestic
sexual molestation.
abuse,
high
because
rise and all that.
since the lockdown, it
Well,
increased.
Well, I mean, it's very unfortunate. Even talking about the security agents
Suspects, we want to know the culprits.
I hope it's followed up because, like we say, most of
Exactly.
these things end up being swept under the carpet. We talk about them with hashtags. People come up and say
Hashtag
lots of
upon
things.
hashtags,
At the end of the day,
post upon post, because some people are using it to promote their pages now.
oh gosh,
And
this
there
is
was
very
something
sad.
I did say yesterday. When it comes to situations like this in Nigeria, that people really need to go out there and make their voices heard. You know, it's like it just starts up in social media and ends on social media. It's crazy.
Yeah, audio
You know,
please
it's
everywhere,
like
and
it's
nobody-
crazy. Everybody just wants to come out and then just build up their numbers on Twitter, Facebook.
People are
That's what
lending
I'm
their
saying.
voices,
No,
not because they care.
that
but
is
No,
not
because
what
they
we
really
want.
care.
That is not what we want. We want action. We want things to be done. So if you feel you are in a position to make things better for people,
of the voiceless these days. I
even
mean,
if it
Yeah,
is,
voice
where
of voice
else can
without
they-
action.
No, but where else can they go?
This is
They are
exactly
voicing it
what I'm
out so
telling
someone
But
you.
can
the
see it.
Univen students, they actually
This
they
is what-
hit the street. They had a protest
This
for,
is what-
for justice.
this is don't just go up. Speak, like, let your words have some actions in it. If you're going to go on Twitter and then
Hit the
type,
right buttons.
hit the
Mostly
right
if you
button.
you
Make
can
something
actually
right
happen.
people.
tag the right
Make
people.
stuff-
Let
make
them
stuff
see
happen.
it.
But the right people are actually seeing it too. It depends on if they're ready to do what should
if
be
the
done.
right people are seeing it, sometimes, right, not just because you feel the right people are seeing it or you just feel, okay, someone out there knows what is happening, so they should tackle it. No, you need to go out. You need to say something. You need to meet these authorities. Don't just hide behind your phone.
Yes, because some people have access to these authorities, but
Yes.
they are not. They only just do it on the social
You
media.
just want to
and
go to
They're not
work,
doing the
close up
outside.
by
But
5
But then,
p.m. and
funny
You
go
know
enough,
how our system is. How many people can actually walk up to authorities in this time and era and say do this or do not do this? That means
we should
know
stop
how
putting the fault to the
faulty-
system. Yes,
But-
system has got its own.
yes,
But there are those out there that know someone that knows someone that
That's
knows
what I'm
someone that can
saying.
get to the top.
exactly.
Well,
Make
if
this
you
thing
ask
happen.
me, I think people are-
Social media, we shouldn't really fall to social media so much
I-
because
I-
actually
seriously.
it's like voices being heard. So it's now
Yes.
giving much room for people, the allies, to see that this is a big deal or we need to take action on this. If not, our government will look stupid.
There's this unity and collectiveness on social media that only social media can bring. Because when everybody's saying hashtag I can't breathe, hashtag justice for Vera, justice for Tina, and all that, it's one voice. It's very loud. You know how loud
Very,
social
very
media
loud.
is. So I really don't know how much people can
I say
do.
even
It's the
Before the
best they
social
can do.
media.
even iTunes yesterday,
social
iTunes they
media.
made a compulsory like playlist. Like if you went to your iTunes yesterday, you discover that there were songs that they were playing for Black Lives. You won't change it. It was live. Everybody using iPhone yesterday.
Before technology got to the level that it is now, where you have phones and
Yeah.
internet and
Yes.
everything. Back then, people don't make their voices.
Heard.
How? By
How?
protesting?
Or
I'm
sa-
not saying.
No,
I'm
most
not,
people
look,
wrote petitions.
I'm not-
petitions.
I gave an example of the former lady that's talking about Titi Abubakar's former president. the former vice president, rather, the wife, where she had.
Strong.
Again.
I mean, it's literally the strongest tool, to put those things out. So when if I'm watching something on TV and there's a little bit of humor, but then there are lessons, it's easy for me to pick it.
Yeah.
And all that. So I really get what you're saying. And I hope that we take these things into consideration, actually, because sometimes we talk like we're saying, and then there's no. So there are different ways to put this out. There are movies and documentaries that can go on. There's songs. We should write more, inspiring.
You understand?
Real life songs.
Real life things.
Those
What's
activists-
happening?
Dramas,
Those
things that
activists
really
we have
happening.
out there, those activists we have out there, what happened to school programs? Going to school to teach them the endangerment of rape.
Yeah,
These
these things should be
things.
included in our curriculum. Actually,
That is it. Let them go
Yeah,
to school
from
to
their
an
young,
early
from the
age.
early age.
School curriculums are known to be very, very unpractical.
From
They're
early
just
age.
theoretical. There are lots of things
And it
that
seems
happen.
like they're hiding, they're shying away from
We
some
actually
topics.
shy
They
away
just
from a lot
want-
of
In this
things
part of the
world,
world.
and it's very dangerous in the long run.
It is very,
our
very
kids
good.
are the ones
You just don't
now
go
To be the
all
victim
out.
of all this.
You just don't go all out to teach only history that sometimes they've been falsified. No, that is not
No.
what we want.
We're talking about
You
what's
know, we
happening in
want
this
morals.
society. Morals.
how
No,
children can even at a tender age already know how they can protect themselves from issues like rape and all that and sexual
how they can
assault.
defend themselves.
How they can defend themselves.
When
So,
it's secondary
Sozi,
school-
is it not? Yesterday I was telling you about the grandfather that raped his three grandchildren. Very
agonizing. I don't even
agonizing.
think about
If
it.
anytime I remember the video, I'm almost
painful.
pushed to
Seriously, lots of
tears.
times I don't want to-
How?
Well, I mean, it's pathetic, it's disturbing, but it's look into our educational system. Education. It means to educate.
What are they teaching them?
What
to
are they teaching
educate.
them?
What are
What are
they
they
really
telling
Put it there.
them?
Let kids are very vulnerable. They are tender, and then they do not really understand. That was a 6-year-old child.
Yes.
And I mean, it
How?
was very painful. So
Someone like that should be
Parents
caged
should
up
also-
and never be released
never
again.
ever.
Now the
ever.
girl
Never.
died. The girl
Ever.
died.
Never. I hate people
Well,
who do such things.
A lot of pain there, and it's sad, and we hope that we get relief from all this kind of news every single
Good day.
But Cameroon has recorded a rise in new coronavirus cases after reopening.
It's going. It's going.
It's
It's going.
actually disturbing, but I hope that they take a cue from this one and know what exactly to do, because that means they actually know what brought about the rise.
Yes.
They are aware, so they are not.
So
oblivious of the
imagine
situation. So-
Raymond Dokpasi's children, little children that eventually tested positive. Imagine schools were still open then.
They
Do
would have
you
just
know
had
how
to miss-
many?
No, that would have been very disastrous.
Very, very disastrous
Yeah,
and
so-
very deadly. So I don't think it should open schools now because children are beyond control. How do you
How do you-
how do you do social distancing for children?
We have a very funny news, but
No.
when we get to our entertainment segment, we'll talk about that one about the child,
All right.
being quarantined and all that. But lastly, the deputy governor of Nigeria, Western States, of course, talking about Bauchi State, has tested positive for coronavirus. The state's media official said he was in self-isolation and samples from all his contacts were taken for testing. To have contracted the virus while working as the chairman of the task force in charge of coronavirus response. He had shown symptoms of the virus before his sample.
I mean, see,
We see-
anybody that is
Yeah.
so much going to be in contact with they should always be on.
The way they are well spaced, maintaining social distancing and with
Mask.
and all that. And
They even
despite
talk
that,
with the mask.
Their level of exposure. Any state now that wants to confirm, they have to send someone there.
Yes,
They
one of
have
the
to,
representatives from each state, so you can see what we're saying. They
go
should
all
also
the
be on
way.
the PPE.
Yeah, so they really deserve to be, well taken care of, and a lot of attention, more attention. I know that they are trying. I really know that, and you guys, you're the best, and we can have a comment session. You can follow us on African Patriot Radio. That's what it is, African Patriot Radio on Facebook and also on YouTube to watch and be conversant with the process, the flow, and what's going on. Drop your comments. We'd like to read them out one of these days. Just air your views, your contributions. We want to know what you're saying. We care about what your opinions on these issues that we keep bringing every other day. Well, I told you that we got a special one for you today. Yeah, we'll be going on a short musical break, but that will lead us to the streets where we get to hear something. But okay, now I'm running faster than myself. We'll talk about we got some entertainment gist. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah. It's Angelo. I'll be all in love. na jungle, oh. Body, you need to struggle, oh. Sure you want collect all the bundle, oh. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Life na jungle, oh. Body, you need to hustle, oh. If you want jump, so they bubble, oh. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Reggae baby, oh. I land to you, they make men go crazy, yo. They say you find the pass it a rego, maybe, yo. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Reggae baby, yo. I land to you, they make men go crazy, yo. They say you find the pass it a rego, maybe, yo. When the beautiful ones are not yet born, go shout, yo. Anisha, it's your birthday. Go shout, yo. Oh, yeah. Good morning, afternoon, depending on which time or evening. I hope say this little piece of advice I go get meaning to those who been they feel solo. Based on their baby, you are all on your own. Now you pray to the ceiling. I know the situation of the country right now no funny. You know go even feel wash your clothes, make you break money. I know say you go like to right your wrongs, but there's no penny. Meanwhile, you go how you see that of one wife still be on it. But based on this fact, you say you won't give up. Buna, you feel give up. BP rising, not great drop. But based on this advice, you say make I shut up. I go shut up. One more line, then I lock up.
Waiting, man, do. Life done, they do all for man, do. You guys find a way to survive, too. Another value, do. Waiting, man, do. Life done, they do all for man, do. You guys find a way to survive, too. Another value, do for man, do.
Life na jungle, oh. Body, you need to struggle, oh. Sure you want collect all the bundle, oh. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Life na jungle, oh. Body, you need to hustle, oh. If you want jump, so they bubble, oh. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Reggae baby, oh. I land to you, they make men go crazy, yo. They say you find a pass it a rego, maybe, yo. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Reggae baby, yo. I land to you, they make men go crazy, yo. They say you find a pass it a rego, maybe, yo. When the beautiful ones are not yet born, go shout, yo. Anisha, it's your birthday. Go shout, yo. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Baby, your back be the cause I go slow. They made bad man one down, see a zone two. Show me your back, make I spend all the money. Now man they walk, now babu they chop.
Oh my lordy, lordy, Ninja situation ready. Boys just they grind on a steady. All I want ask is just one more question. Waiting, man, do. Life done, they do all for man, do. You guys find a way to survive, too. Another value with the for man. Waiting, man, do. Life done, they do all for man, do. You guys find a way to survive, too. Another value with the for man.
Young Famous on the mix.
I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful.
Once upon a time in our lives, yeah, situations stabbing like knives, yeah, questions rising, how do I fight, yeah, that is not for you and me, leave everything to the king, you need to feel nice, yeah, painful feeling makes you alive, yeah, I know that man feeling likewise, yeah, thanks and praises to the king, after suffering comes relief. Life is hard and I can understand. Things we see sometimes don't match up to what we deserve. Not the same thing. Everywhere you live, you smile, you love. Hey, this ugly shouldn't be when you're the one involved. You were beautiful in every way. Sun or rain, you have me any day. Price for joy, you name it, I will pay. I will never trade you for no one in any way. They see bearing in you, I see babe. I embrace. You were star, no one can take your place. I will never trade you for no one on any day. Yeah, yeah. They cheat me, but still they leave large. Yeah, yeah. Where's the drive to stay good when surrounded by evil? You need to love still. Yeah, yeah. Let go from unless you won't heal. Yeah, yeah. God is at the wheels to stand still. Yeah, yeah. Trouble, pain, they disappear when you wait to wear a chair. Life is hard and I can understand. Things we see sometimes don't match up to what we deserve. Not the same thing. Everywhere you live, you smile, you love. Hate is ugly, shouldn't be when you're the one involved. You were beautiful in every way. Sun or rain, you have me any day. Price for joy, you name it, I will pay. I will never trade you for no one in any way. They see barren in you, I see babies. Had to love you all that I embrace. You were star, no one can take your place. I will never trade you for no one on any day. See in life, what you like will likely shun you. But be careful what you like and what you shun to. He's your type, you trust him and now he hurt you. But the other loved you, but he wasn't for you. And it's unwise, yeah, yeah. We want this, but when it comes, we turn a blind eye. Oh no. Yeah. You were beautiful in every way. Sun or rain, you have me any day. Price for joy, you name it, I will pay. I will never trade you for no one in any way. If the barren in you, I see baby. Had to love you all that I embrace. You were star, no one can take your place. I will never trade you for no one.
Welcome back from that break. You're still live on African Patriot Radio with the Morning Patriot, and we're moving straight into our entertainment scene. Well, the sad news of the legendary musician, music icon Majek Fashek reached us yesterday, and of course, a lot of accolades as well as condolences have been pouring out from all around the world. Because, like we know, the music icon was an international act. He wasn't just, a Nigerian or an African.
Yeah.
He reached the entire world. You know, he was featured by the biggest artists that you can think of.
Yeah, he featured with likes of even Michael Jackson, Snoop Dogg, Beyonce, Jimmy Cliff.
Well, I know back then they used to call him the Rainmaker.
Right, like.
And do you know that they said that a heavy rain actually fell in Lagos?
Oh, did he die?
Did he die?
Ah,
Wow.
that's
Nigerians, we must find one way to link.
not Nigerians, Africans.
Okay.
That is how we
We're
like
highly
it.
found-
superstitious
okay.
at the end of the day, so
That is how we.
And they are proud of
normally-
it, yes.
It is our tradition, so
we cannot run away
it's
from
always
that.
part of
There's
it.
actually this religious part in this Africa. No, we can't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot run away from
No, we can't.
It is our culture. It was there before every other thing.
We
came in.
embrace it.
So
But his manager was saying that rather than mourning, we should,
Celebrate
because
him.
of the feats that he was able to accomplish while he was alive. He had been battling an illness for a while.
Yeah.
We heard about the whole exposure.
I think he has been in the hospital since 2019, since
for a
last
very
year.
long time.
His health
I remember when he came to when he came back to Nigeria to see if he can get to revive his music career, which at some point it looked as if it was going all so good up until when he had to go back to the hospital where they have other celebrities go visit him. I think he went to rehab one time when he came back to Nigeria.
Yes.
Yes. He went to rehab and then he tried to revive his music. I mean, back then it was so much fun listening to Mama, yeah.
Send out the rain.
Yeah, okay. I think you guys just took it out of my mouth. This is good. Rest in peace, Majek.
Rest in peace, Majek Fashek. So he died at the age of 57 or 71, which of them?
It was I mean, he was 71 and now he's 57.
Wow.
Sometimes.
Okay, no problem. I think we shouldn't talk about it again. It's okay.
Yeah, but he actually did a lot,
No,
He
he
did
did
a
a
lot.
lot.
and that's
He
what
did
he'll
a
be
lot.
remembered for.
I used to remember the likes of the Nollywood movie producer and also director, talking about Charles Novia. Used to be his manager when he was trying to get everything worked out and everything.
Yeah, I think he acted in some couple of movies as well.
Yeah. Charles Novia was like, it's been long I heard about Charles Novia. I don't know if he's still doing movies or directing Nigeria.
Well, a lot of them are still on the ground, and now we see how they are remaking and reviving some old movies. You know, like,
The likes of Living in Bondage.
Living in
Just
Bondage.
leave the movie. That movie. Before I'm now, after I'm not just keep on.
That's how we were doing it. That watching it that day. Halfway. Kai.
Then one thing, now let's one thing. We'll not finish, but we'll finish it and we'll just you guys what happened.
Yes.
All right, so
Don't be a movie spoiler.
Yeah, wanted to finish with
Yeah,
that
I'm
day.
so sorry.
You guys should
But
stop being
anyways,
movie spoilers.
billionaire husband Ned Oko and Regina Daniel was expecting the first baby.
Aww.
Should I say
Aww.
Well,
Whichever way, there's a baby coming in, so it's a bundle of blessing.
Well,
The bundle of joy.
I remember him. That's talking about Nerd. Him going
remember
on
Ned?
to. I said I remember
were
Ned
friends.
going to social media.
Sozi.
Okay.
Let me finish. I remember Ned going to social media saying his baby is also having a baby.
Yeah, that's how you put it.
Yes, he said my baby
Yeah.
is having a
He
baby,
went all out
and
and
I was
said
like,
the baby.
"Aww."
Apparently, Regina is a baby now.
You should allow me finish.
Where it's coming from?
Finish before-
Me
I
and
don't know
then
everybody.
myself and Elvis this morning we're talking about consent or age of consent. So please, she has passed it, so she's
Age
not
of
a baby.
consent.
Hi, try.
Chai.
Anyways, I know that baby will look like Ned.
How do you
No,
know?
no, please, she
No, because
you look
Regina
like
and Ned are
Regina.
already looking alike, so they'll be
Oh,
Yeah, in a way, oh.
Excuse me, let me say this. Are you saying Regina is beginning to look like Nerd and Ned
Yes.
is beginning to look like
No,
Ned?
no, no, no.
I'm
She
saying
is beginning to look like Ned.
I'm
Check
saying
it out very well.
them
Check
now.
them out.
You're just
Forget their
hating.
complexion.
We're
We're
not.
just
No, it's not a hating Magana. Not
Seriously.
true.
But
She's getting to look like
No.
Ned.
But-
Her
but-
husband now.
No.
Is he a
But if you
crime?
notice,
I think she's
lots of
looking
couples-
prettier than before.
We
No,
didn't
the
say she's looking
pregnancy actually
ugly.
brought out that glow. You know,
In
that
her,
pregnancy
that
glow.
pregnancy
You know,
glow.
so she's like, oh, she's.
So you guys are saying she's beginning to look like Nerd.
Yes, now, but still.
Let's
but,
continue.
But it's very. It's
I think
very,
I understand what Yao is trying to
Can
I
say.
we
don't
please
understand
continue?
because
Can
it's
we
very
please
normal
continue?
that couples look like themselves.
Yes,
My
now.
parents look like themselves as well, so it's really not strange. When you relate with someone, in fact, when you start hanging out with
Yeah.
someone, sometimes you even sound like the person.
So yeah, we'll
Really?
explain to you very well what Yao meant later.
The thing about me is that I did not understand. I will never understand. Even if she explains.
Can we please move on to the next
Yeah,
one?
have you been following BB Nigeria reunion?
No.
Just kicked off.
No.
He's
Hey,
getting utter,
Bas,
utter,
bas,
utter.
bas, 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 bas.
Hey.
You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, go and watch it this
You want to watch it this
It's
evening?
still-
10:30.
It's still on.
10:30, Abi.
Please, you guys should spoil it for me. This is the part where I like spoilers.
Hey, you were
so
disqualified. You were
far.
not there. You were
So far,
disqualified.
so far, we've not really reached that you were
Okay.
disqualified part, but we are this
Tasha
close.
and Messi, I
They've not
believe.
started digging it, but they are going to dig it because we saw some clips. Today's episode.
Today they will dig it deep.
But so far,
How's the
housemates-
presence like between Messi,
Messi
Joe,
and Tancha.
Did I say
Messi,
Messi, Joe?
Joe.
Which Messi Joe?
What's that
Why?
name again? Messi Ike? Or what is it called?
Messi, AK.
Messi, hey.
But you know why?
You
I
guys
was
should forgive
actually
me,
when
but
we,
then
I,
I
we
never
watched
really-
it. I watched it too, and I was telling Messi that I'm wondering why Messi and Tacha are sitting on the same couch.
They know what they're
Why
doing.
did they put them on
They
the
know.
same couch?
And anytime Messi is talking, the camera always now goes back to Tacha's face again.
to see how she's
to see how she's reacting, and I'm like,
and Tacha
Ogini.
now did long hair. Now there's a hair. I don't want the hair pulling it again. No.
And anybody
I'm just
wearing
saying.
wig there, sorry, or anybody that did the Abuna frontal and
I'm
put it
just
with
saying,
glue.
no.
I can see you guys are really enjoying the reunion.
just saying.
Well, I just can't wait for the main thing to start.
Yeah, but then there's also a
Yeah.
sad-
So, did you finally do your video?
I thought about it. I just
about
go
you?
for it next year.
Okay, you want to go for it
Next year.
no, I'm not going for it.
Well, I think I did a video. I don't know, but I think I did a video.
How can you be thinking if you did a
I
video?
think I did a video.
Sorry.
I
Oh.
think I did a video.
Y'all did it behind our
Is
back.
that a subtle way of revealing? Okay, anyways.
I think I
we're
did a
running out
video.
of time. So, but there's a sad one because Davido was involved in an accident. Yeah, very
Yes.
sad one. And his lawyer had to, come out to talk about it. He appeared to have gotten involved in an accident because some photos went viral.
Yeah, his
on
leg.
social media where he was even using crutches. I mean, is that bad? and so that he could walk. 'Cause
Yeah.
But as
His
long
left
as
leg.
he's alive and breathing,
Yes,
normally,
because
that is just. the
And
most
even
important
happy,
thing.
thank God that he didn't have any show to go for. It wasn't a
because
period of
his,
that.
His lawyer said that they were grateful that the singer didn't have any performances. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to. Because that means it's quite severe.
Yes. You see all those things that are holding his legs there now in those in the
Yes,
pictures.
I mean, when you look at the pictures, you're wondering what kind of accident was
Well,
this? It
actually,
looks quite
how
serious.
that actually affect just his leg, his left leg.
I really hope that he gets better soon. Davido, guess what? One Nigerian man came out to say, "My wife begs me with Davido's name whenever she offends me."
I don't understand.
That
That
one is
means-
coming out in public
I
again.
am serious.
So
Please,
is the
Davido,
man's
get
name
well,
Davido?
There are people that use your name to beg their husband.
Waiting
Is the man-
Mohammed no go see for mountain.
Okay. Okay, so
I want to ask: is the man's name Davido?
no,
Okay.
you know what I say.
He's a lover of the video.
He loves the video so much, such that if
So the wife had to go all out to use
the
Davido's name.
He
to-
will now.
I'm just trying to imagine the
pacified.
drama. I'm trying to imagine in
And
my
then the
head.
man
No,
is
but it just goes to
actually.
show that the
and
young man
then-
is very loved.
Yeah, he's very
Yes,
loved.
you
Very
know,
loved and
you
well
know.
appreciated. I mean, he's been doing a great job. You know, and we
Davido.
really
I use
appreciate
Davido
it.
name beg you.
I'm telling you. Oh God, jeez.
Nice. That's
I
something.
don't
No,
understand.
that's extra. I was just singing. You know, I sing. Okay, so now funny. I was talking about a funny story earlier on, and what happened is that Jim Ike actually shared a funny video. His son tried to run away from the house after testing freedom from quarantine.
That's sweet.
Yes. The small boy, the boy has been quarantined.
That's sweet.
So when they gave him space, the boy attempted to disappear. He
Can you
wanted
imagine?
to run.
Where is he running
No,
to?
but pity small children in this period. How
I'm sure. How would they be playing outside? You know, children that love to
I was
outside.
at my uncle's place and
That was nice.
I felt for them. You know why? The children, you can't sleep. Except they sleep. He said, sometimes you know he does. He just drives out because he needs to breathe.
Those
How are
children.
parents even
Well,
cope?
I already coping now. I
Well,
don't
I
know.
know.
So I
Well,
know.
I think
Parents, kudos. You're doing well right
And
now.
I think this is where parents would really want schools to reopen badly because of the kids being at home.
Yeah,
Badly,
but no,
but
I
their
don't think
children's
some
health
parents actually
are
want
at
their
risk.
children to go back to school now.
I
They're
know,
not
but-
feeling safe enough.
Well,
But
all the
anyways,
same.
and that was just so funny, just to make it relax and be taken care of, like Messi Eke said. Just want to
I just want to relax and be
I just
taken
want to
care
relax and
of.
be taken care of. That's the story of everybody. That's how we want. But it's also a very sad one here. Twilight actor Gregory Boyce and Nigerian girlfriend Natalie Adipeju were found dead in their home as a result of drug overdose after an autopsy was conducted. This is really sad.
It's really very,
Well,
very sad.
It is a
really
sad
sad.
one. It is a sad one. A drug overdose.
More like an unfortunate death and an
I
unfortunate
really
death,
don't
like
know.
something that probably wouldn't have happened.
Is it
I mean-
like, is it that one of them actually influenced the other one to get into drugs, or just feel like, oh, because my boyfriend, my girlfriend is doing drugs, so I should just dive into it?
I mean,
It's crazy.
Because
for
I want
crazy.
to be doing what he's doing
I
as
mean,
well,
you
so we
know,
can bond together better.
I'm really wondering because while we're talking about this just before we came back, and May was raising his concerns about the fact that does it mean that if someone is involved in a bad habit,
You've
and
been
you
in
are
a
the person's
relationship
partner,
that person, you
does
should
it now mean
actually
that automatically-
inherit that bad habit.
But you
It
know
is.
how they say it. I mean, bad company corrupts good morals. So
Is it truth?
if you like somebody, subsequently you get to like
What the person is
all
doing.
about. So sometimes you just feel like, no, I won't do this. Maybe the person, take for instance, someone that smokes and you're allergic to smoke, or you do not even like people that smoke, but you like this person's personality, except that the person has the habit of smoking. Now, subsequently, what happens is you tell yourself, I've accepted the person, but I'm separating that habit from the person. But with time,
You just find yourself in it.
you will find yourself embracing it.
Because I
Even
used
if
to
you-
know someone, the person she was dating was a smoker, and she wasn't a smoker.
All right.
Now, eventually, what happened was this. All of a sudden, we found out and discovered that she was smoking now as well.
See what I'm
Okay.
Can you
saying?
imagine that?
Okay, people have got different habits, the good ones and the bad ones. True. So this person that might probably be doing drugs or
Yeah.
doing other things, and then you don't do any of these things. Why don't you look at ways that you can actually convince this person to be like you instead of you just being like the other person? Because it's crazy.
But have you noticed?
Look, we know that sometimes they say bad habits dies hard, or I don't know, But this is it. This person does this. And you know this thing is not good. And you tell yourself, I'm a friend to this person, or I'm in a relationship with this person. There's so many ways you can prove your loyalty and
To
love
that person.
to that person.
Yeah, but
The person, you must not do exactly what that
Without
person is
indulging
doing.
in the bad habits of that
Yes.
person.
Seriously, I'll have to differ. I beg to differ on this one. The truth of the matter is that if you keep a kid
Yes.
with another kid that steals, let me tell you, and then you keep a kid with another kid that always likes to read his or her books, that kid will get influenced faster by stealing
than reading the book. It happens.
I mean,
It's just
people
like
get
We
influenced
know
by
this.
bad habits easily.
know this.
So the
We
fact
know
that you're
this.
saying somebody should change, you can't change people easily like that. People, do you know how long they've been doing such
There are
things?
process to
Sometimes you
this.
need to really step away so that
Yep.
you know. Because now I'm looking at this girlfriend of his. We really don't have details of the story, but it's bad. It means that two of them indulged in, drug abuse and then drug overdose, and it means nobody could advise any other person because they were both found
That
dead.
is the point.
And they are young people, 27 and 30. The guy is 30. It's
the
very
guy is
it's
27.
painful.
It's painful. They're too young.
I've got people who smokes. Okay. And most times I tell them when I'm with them, yes, I know I don't smoke, but being a secondary smoker is also very, very
Because the
dangerous.
person that
It is very, very
receiving the smoke is
dangerous.
at more risk
It's very,
than
very
the person
dangerous.
Yeah,
who's smoking.
So
you were even
this-
the one that oriented me about
So
that.
this
so-
is it. I try as much as possible to tell him, first, this guy used to go like a packet a day. It was that serious. And then I try as much as possible to talk to him. Up until he fell sick one day. Went to the hospital. They told him, look, your intake for cigarette is too much. If you're not careful, this is what is going to happen. This guy continued. Up until I went to his house someday and I told him, Mom, I said, look, your son smokes and that is what is killing him.
It's
Good.
very sad, but anyways, we're
Look, I just had to go straight up. Your son
Good.
smokes and
So
that is
she
what is
knows
killing
what
him.
she
So
knows why he's
So
like that.
It's better. The
So
way
there are
you-
ways.
Not everybody can do
it's
that.
not everybody,
So
but
people-
this
some
is what
people
I'm
are
trying to
easily
say.
influenced.
This is yes, but this is what I'm trying to say. You can try as much as possible to be that positive influencer that people need to look up to. Not just them picking out your bad habits. No, there are things that they can see in you that they can
They can
actually.
emulate. Well, it's very sad, but we're running out of time. Lastly, Bibi Niger Cafe, sad one here as well, opens up on being abused. She said she was abused. That's very sad. Coming in these times when we're talking about all of these things, people coming out saying that. And she's
Boldly for people to see, but what other people that has gone through this carry in their
Yes.
heart is very, very, because I've got friends that have been through all manners of abuses and everything. So sometimes they just need that courage. It might take a very long time for them to
Anyways.
accept it that they've been through things like
But
this.
for
So
her
they
to come
just
out to
need
say,
courage.
I'm sure she has healed to an extent.
Yes.
And she's enjoying it. Don't need you can't be that bad. Kidding now.
Suzy.
All right, guys. All right,
But
guys.
okay.
We're running out of time, so I told you we got some juice for you. We will be going to the streets to hear from the people. And the question is, can you marry someone older than you? Let the street tell us what's on mind. This is African Patriot Radio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
But for a man that is younger than you, can you marry him?
Sometimes this African thing sets in. Like, after all, you are older than me and all of that. If you take that his mind, of course we can flow.
So you don't think that at any point in time you will start disrespecting him because you're older than him?
No. If the love is there, of course you should know that he is the man and he is the head. Being the husband, he is the head. If I'm older, I should know that I'm a woman, I'm supposed to submit.
Can you marry a woman older than yourself?
Yeah, I can.
Why? How?
Because my last relationships, I've not really been a relationship person, though, but I did try. My last two girlfriends were older than me. One was 30, the other was 32.
And how old are you?
I'm 26.
So the other older.
The other 4 years and 5 years older.
Wow. And how was it? How was the experience?
But it's okay. Like, the issue had with the last one was basically distance. Like, she really traveled out and, you know.
Okay, but there was no maybe disrespect or anything.
But I think, so far, I don't think, for me, probably because I studied sociology, so I really don't see things that way. I feel loving someone has nothing to do with age. Okay, consider the president of France now, probably. You understand? Marry someone who is more older than you, know, because they can't afford someone who's. So it's just, I think it's who you feel the vibe with. So sure, if I see someone who's more than me, why not I can?
Would you mind marrying somebody, a lady? And you know how our African society is, you know, most times the guy is older. But would you mind marrying somebody that's older, that's younger than you as a woman?
Yeah, age is a number, but it doesn't cover. I don't do that.
Okay, can you give any reason, like maybe just any reason why?
That's because of the psychological, yeah. And the age difference is much. But remember, his thinking style and mine wouldn't be the same, so I wouldn't want to go for that.
Welcome back from that break. Did you have a nice time? Because I did. Watching those people say what was on your mind. Can you marry someone older than you? Yo.
Well, I think for a man, it's normal for an older man to get married to a younger.
No, but in this case, we're saying, can
No,
you
no,
get
can you
married
marry
to a lady older than you?
Can I marry a lady older
Okay.
than me? I mean, love has got nothing to do with age.
Okay.
Yes, so I can. Yes.
Like, I mean, when I say older, like
Probably 10 years.
when I say older, I mean like older.
Even if she's 10 years older than me. I
Are you
can.
serious? Why?
I
Because
just
you
told
love
you.
her.
Yes, I told you love has got nothing to do with age.
Okay. Because
In our setting, it is not
So you're
normal.
only
Yes,
at- even if
in
it's-
African
even if
setting.
it's 2 months.
Can she marry someone who's younger than her? That she.
And that's the question now.
She's older than the person, automatically the person is younger than her.
Yes. Honestly, to be frank.
Even 2 months or even 1 month.
Enough.
Okay, can you marry somebody that is your age mate?
No, I can't even marry someone that's my age mate.
Oh, can you imagine?
I can't even marry someone that's just 1 or 2 years or 3 years older than me. No.
Okay, you and Yao can marry somebody that is 10 years older than him. You can marry somebody that is 10 years older than
I
him.
would even prefer to marry someone that is 10 years older than me.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
Yes, now so that when we are at that age, he's now older, and then me, I'm not looking like this sissy omoge.
Ah, this girl is not a good person.
So your problem is.
Like, this guy is not a good person. Ah!
So your problem is you don't want him to look good.
That's
than
a problem.
You understand?
All this talk we're
No.
talking since morning, since last year. That's MJ's
No,
problem.
you know he knows it. Just see, I beg, please, no. He has to be there. So that when you reach that age, you still be seeing me as, oh, my wife is still young and beautiful.
Right now, wow.
That is what I'm
Our
telling
pride
you.
entered inside.
That is what I was telling you, that in Africa here, it's normal for a man who is older to get married to
No,
younger.
it's normal.
It's normal. But then when the table turns,
Yes.
they be like, she a lady Yahweh ni, abi
Yeah,
kilo
normally
she le."
it's
You know, a lot of people just go crazy.
Yes, actually, you're
crazy.
But
very
seriously,
right.
But guys, is age really just a number?
Age should not be a factor.
Age is nothing but a number.
Really?
Age is not a factor for someone.
For sincere hearts or sincere minds, I'm not talking because those days
Because
you see
we have
lots of people
that-
doing different things.
opportunists, you know, and all that.
So that's why I'm putting it in notion. It's for the sincere hearts. Age is nothing but a number for only
But
sincere
you know,
people.
you know, when a woman is in love, she really doesn't see. You know, a woman can be, for instance, imagine, no, the Yao is not that kind of person. You already heard what he said.
Yeah, no, Yao is not that
So
kind of
imagine that guy. Okay, no, let's not use Yao. That guy that was saying, that
Please
guy.
use Yao.
Okay, imagine that Yao, he
Thank
doesn't
you.
mind getting married to someone
Someone
who's 10
older,
years
10 years.
older than him as a guy.
Even
which
20.
is already
Yeah.
abnormal in this part of the world.
Very, very abnormal.
The way Sassy said it.
No, it's true. It's very, very abnormal.
But normal, or 20
Imagine-
years older than
No, I mean,
yourself.
No, I can't do 20.
Okay,
No,
alright.
sorry.
That one is like grandma things. Okay, so imagine now that Yao's intention is because she's better than him, but the lady doesn't know. She's feeling loved.
Yeah.
Like one this thing we were watching yesterday about someone that wanted to get married. The lady did not know. He wanted her for her assets, you know, but she thought that she was really, really,
Okay,
really
is
in
it that
love.
one we
Yeah.
watch?
You know,
Okay.
she thought that he was in love with her until she tried to test him. She went and said, I don't all the money, all my assets. I
They're
cannot
gone.
inherit
I
anything,
can't
they're
hear. I can't touch
gone." The guy
anything.
left her.
Imagine.
So imagine that kind of situation now. And she doesn't know that this guy is not sincere and she's sincere. That's why I'm saying what MJ said about sincerity is very important. But the
Yes.
problem is can be one-sided. The lady might be sincere.
But the guy is
But
not
the guy might, and then the
sincere.
guy might be sincere
can't.
too.
So
and
he
the
has
lady
to
is
bring
not.
two
You
sincere
can't always
minds.
have it. You can't always have it at 100% level. You know, it can't always be at 100. Just like you look at the likes of Nick Cannon getting married to Mariah one time. You know, and she was like actually 10 years. Because of our traditions, we've got our traditions now that would not allow us go into. And this is what is really like. It's been guiding us very well
for a very long time.
For a very long time. So
But
let's stick
anyways,
to it.
different strokes for different folks. But this is the point where we draw the curtain on the show, guys. Say your bye-byes and your names, and we sign out.
Bye, people. My name is Mercy Joe. Bye, Abuja. Bye, Africa. Bye, everyone. I am my Women Crush Wednesday. Who's your Women Crush Wednesday? Make sure you drop a comment.
Okay, from the Godfather here, I want to say thank you for staying with us. And then for my woman crush Wednesday, all the beautiful women in Africa. You got me, my woman crush.
Oh,
And
thank
my-
you, y'all. Thank you, y'all.
And my woman crush Wednesday is actually Mrs. Comfort Achin, my biological.
Yay, Mrs.
Because
Comfort.
she literally almost made me cry today. I will not tell people. I won't tell people.
You would tell me what happened. You don't have a choice.
She sang happy birthday song to you.
No,
Yeah?
she's amazing. She's, I don't know. I don't want to weep.
All mothers are
Now I'm
amazing.
proud.
You know.
If I weep here, my pride has gone. I told MJ I'm emotionally proud.
Oh,
My emotional pride is
Chineke,
finished. That's the only
God.
pride I have. I'm not like them that have atmospheric. and
I
all
asked
kinds
for
of pride.
friends, and this is what you did.
This is what you got.
Okay.
This is what you.
I know the
Look
plan.
at what you
The
got.
plan is to make me laugh in my language. I will not do it, guys. Please
Look
stay
at what
tuned
you
to
got.
African.
Look at what we got.
No, it's you.
These guys are a handful. I'm a handful. I can't even handle myself, and now I have two people that are additional.
Are you
Look at what you
understand?
got.
Look at what we got. I don't understand.
All right, guys. I hope that you had this all the time. We're here because of you. Thank you so much for staying tuned, for joining us. Don't go anywhere because Ima and MM will be coming through, and then subsequently Jojo the Star Girl.
Jojo the Star Girl.
Yeah, and Elvis.
Shout outs to Victor.
Yes, shout out to Victor, our studio manager. He keeps it real. He makes everything you see work the way that they do. And shout out to our head of station, May 11. And shout out to you guys for keeping it, for staying tuned to African Patriot Radio. So much love from here to you. Blowing my kisses over there. Please stay safe. Take care of yourself. We promise to be back tomorrow at 10:30 to 12 o'clock for another beautiful cruise with the Morning Patriot, the Sleek Susie, MJ, and the Godfather.
Father,
Do
yeah.
have a
Bye-bye.
lovely, lovely, beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
is Josephine Paul,
Susan Achin,
Yao Bremen, Jude Ojima Audu,
Second Zilang,
Richard Bassi,
Ekanem.
I am Mercy Joe, and we are
African Patriot on African Patriot Radio.
Baby, let me take you there. No time to check time, love you, baby, fair and square. I'll be here beside you, baby, sure you know I care. Don't doubt my love for you now. Come closer, girl, don't back down. So far it's you I fancy. See, no, they come too far from the roadside bar, cause not there they see you. See, I say bad sharp guy, not the shy type. See a girl, I dey feel you. Connect with me now, baby, let's go crazy, cause I know say you go be my number one. Baby girl, I tell you, biggie, heavy, baby turn up, go down, don't stop, go steady. International one chief rocker, baby go down, go shut the one showstopper, yeah. Biggie, heavy, baby turn up, go down, don't stop, go steady. International one chief rocker, baby go down, go shut the one showstopper, yeah. Everybody they call me the farmer. As them see your face from afar, them they call me the farmer. Yeah, as you find like that, my mama go they call me the farmer. See my guy for the hood, they tell me oh Benny, I say you be farmer. Yeah, see I say you be, yeah. Baby girl, take your time. See the one thing with me, girl, me I know they ask 2 times. But that doesn't mean that I don't want you to be mine. No playing games now, baby. This time around you'll stay here. Don't slow it down, my baby. Biggie, heavy, baby turn up, go down, don't stop, go steady. International one chief rocker, baby go down, go shut the one showstopper, yeah. Biggie, heavy, baby turn up, go down, don't stop, go steady. International one chief rocker, baby go down, go shut the one showstopper, yeah. Everybody they call me the farmer. As them see your face from afar, them they call me the farmer. Yeah, as you find like that, my mama go they call me the farmer. See my guy for the hood, they tell me oh Benny, I say you be farmer. See I say you be, yeah. Everybody they call me the farmer. As them see your face from afar, them they call me the farmer. Yeah, as you find like that, my mama go they call me the farmer. See my guy for the hood, they tell me oh Benny, I say you be farmer. See I say you be, yeah. Biggie, heavy, baby turn up, go down, don't stop, go steady. International one chief rocker, baby go down, go shut the one showstopper, yeah. Biggie, heavy, baby turn up, go down, don't stop, go steady. International one chief rocker, baby go down, go shut the one showstopper, yeah.
It's Victory and the Bits.
Dun. MJ Love. Until Vanessa. When I been calling you answer. What the Valima, oh. That's why we get to Wahala. Not until I met Fatima. My baby girl, she the answer. My baby give me assurance. Hey, we zero Wahala. Not until I met Fatima. My baby girl, she the answer. My baby give me assurance. Hey, we zero Wahala. She the boss my brain like. Yeah. Love for Mona Gigi. Yeah. For your love, I don't grow beer. Marry me, let's born children. Hold my hands, let me take you there. I push up on me, yeah. For your love, I don't grow beer. Marry me, let's born children. Hold my hands, let me. Auntie Vanessa. When I been calling you answer. What the Valima, oh. That's why we get to Wahala. Not until I met Fatima. My baby girl, she the answer. My baby give me assurance. Hey, we zero Wahala. Not until I met Fatima. My baby girl, she the answer. My baby give me assurance. Hey, we zero Wahala. She the boss my brain like. Yeah. Love for Mona Gigi. Yeah. Love for Kanaku. Madam in Chopa Proof. Now so him I sharpen. He enter Eve heaven. Love for Kanaku. Madam in Chopa Proof. Now so him I sharpen. He enter Eve heaven. But shock on me, dear. For your love, I don't grow beer. Marry me, let's born children. Hold my hands, let me take you there. I put shock on me, dear. For your love, I don't grow beer. Marry me, let's born children. Hold my hands, let me Auntie Vanessa.
Let me know on the mix.
Lexus Media.
From the start, them they tell me, say definitely I go blow. Every time then they hear my sound, then they come ask me for more. Now the love I receive all true, they bring me tears of joy.
Hello, welcome to African Patriot Radio. Well, it's that time of the day when the midday patriots take over the radio. My name is Ekanem, and today we have a couple of interesting programs lined up for you today, ranging from Afro Motion, and then we have a little special thing and I have planned for you today, and then after that we have even the odds. Well, when I say Afro Motion, you know what it is. It is movie time, so that's what we're going to be starting up first with today. It is Afro Motion, and you know how we do in Afro Motion. We talk all things movies, from the movies themselves to filmmakers, directors, producers, actors, all things film related, as long as it's in Africa. We talk about it because we love movies. I mean, I know how difficult it can be not being able to go to the cinema to see new movies when they come out, and not being able to just go out with your family and friends, your loved ones, and just have a nice, evening. I think a lot of people like to go to the cinemas in the evening. It can be very difficult. I mean, with the pandemic and all, like everyone is trying to be safe, which is a good thing. At least we should all try as much as possible to adhere to the instructions that have been given by the WHO on how to stay safe. Well, with the rise of the COVID-19. Well, you know how it is on AfroMotion. It's Wednesday, and we are going to be talking. We're going to be talking about the movie Made in Heaven. Okay. But before I start, I would actually really like to know. You know how when you see a movie, and then you really cannot wait to see. Or you see a snippet of a movie, you really cannot wait to see the full movie. You see when they started making it, and for some reason you cannot wait to see how it turns out. Well, Made in Heaven was one of such movies for me, actually. But the thing is, okay, Made in Heaven is a feature-length fantasy comedy that actually explores the intervention of the divine or spiritual in our day-to-day lives. It talks about, tells a story about a naive young man who is surrounded by a lot of bad people, backstabbers, cheats, murderers, and the likes. But still, he's willing to risk his life to be a hero and to find love. Well, that's a general summary of what Made in Heaven is. Of what Made in Heaven is about. Sorry, pardon me. So now, I was asking earlier. You know how when you see a movie, especially because of the way it's made, or because of the people you see in it, and you just really want this movie to turn out well, like you cannot wait to see it, you're rooting for that movie to win, probably because it was made by your favorite director, or maybe you have your favorite actors in them as well, or for whatever reason you just want this movie to do well, you want this movie to win. But unfortunately, somehow, some of these movies do not actually, most times they don't actually get up to that point where you would like them to be. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Made in Heaven is one of such movies. In my opinion, it actually falls into this category. Well, Made in Heaven was actually released in 2019, and it was directed by the one and only Toka Magbara. You know, before I go further into the gist, let us take a look at the trailer of this movie.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
The lady from the bar.
Yeah.
What's she doing here? What happened?
My baboon brain boyfriend drove us into a truck.
I am the alpha wolf of the pack.
Every time you don't listen!
Accident. Yeah. Jesus. So after all this I've been through, don't I deserve a chance at true love?
You only have 7 days.
7 days? We were actually bidding for time.
You witness a thing like that. Call the police and stay out of sight.
Let's go.
Good time to jump in?
Who is this?
I mean, look at that. Just take a good look at that. I mean, that trailer alone should actually make you want to see the movie. I mean, that's how I felt, because I actually followed this movie right from when they were still in pre-production, while they were still acting out and all of the, when they were still on set. I was following up and see stuff, and then, boom, the trailer drops, and I'm like, oh, wow, I cannot wait to see this movie. And then, well, late 2019, the movie was finally out for everyone to see in cinemas, and I was equally excited. I mean, from from everything I saw, right from when they were on set and to the trailer, I was really, really excited to see this movie in cinemas. I mean, it actually rocked cinemas like nationwide, but unfortunately, its reign was actually short-lived. Now, I talked about how you root for a movie to win or to do well, but for some reason, it doesn't actually do well. I'll go into that, but first of all, like I said, this movie was released in 2019, and it was directed by the amazing filmmaker Toka McBarrow, and it features the likes of Nancy Sime, Blossom Chukwujeku, Uchenwa Afena, Tony Abraham, and it also had appearances by Prince Jide Kosoko. He had Richard Moffedami, Joe RMD. We had A.Y. Makun and Lasisi Alono, amongst others. I mean, this movie was actually power-packed in a sense that it had a lot of big actors in it who have actually been able to like carve and create a name for themselves in the industry, in the Nollywood industry, and outside of it, I think, Africa basically. So it had a lot of big names in it, and if you've seen movies by each of these actors before, you would agree with me that these actors are actually very good. They're quite good at what they do. Even the ones that are actually new in the industry. I mean, we've seen a couple of comedy skits. So yes, comedy skits from Lasisi Alono. We're not delving into comedy right now, but we know from the stuff that he puts out, we can actually tell what he's capable of, and we know that he should be able to deliver certain roles given to him. And the role he played here, I feel like there's still room for improvement, but I mean, looking at the cast, this movie is actually power-packed. Okay, now I gave a brief summary of the story initially, but let me delve into it. So now, Made in Heaven actually tells the story of a young man and a young woman who meet one night, and then unfortunately they both die that same night. Now, think about this. Now, after they die, they run into each other on the hallway to heaven. It's open space where they're all waiting to be judged, and then they run into each other there, and then they get talking and get to find out a bit about themselves. She was in an accident, he died also, and they found themselves there. And they got talking, and this young man, who is actually played by Blossom Chukwujeku, kind of found this young woman played by Uchenwa Afena very fascinating. He found her very fascinating and wanted more time. And now what happened? What actually happened was, for some reason, she had to be called back. Like, her spirit had to return to her body. So she was given another chance at life. And he wanted that because he wanted more time with her. He was fascinated, was taken by her, and he wanted more time with her. So he had to find a way to get himself out of that position. He had to find a way to get himself back to life. Now, he had to make a deal with his guardian angel, his guardian angel was actually played by Nancy Sime, the amazing Nancy Sime. Yes, I had to say amazing because she is actually amazing. She's an amazing actor. His guardian angel was played by Nancy Sime, so he had to make a deal with her to let him return to Earth. Nancy Sime, who played the guardian angel of Blossom Chukwujeku's character in the movie. Now, Nancy, when I said earlier and called her amazing, and a lot of people will say, why do you have to call her amazing alone? But Nancy is actually an amazing actor. I mean, I haven't seen her not deliver a role she's been given. She can play the good girl, she can play the bad girl, she can play the naughty girl. I think she delivers on every role. And in this movie, she had to play, for lack of a better way to speak, she had to play a badass angel in this movie. And boy, she was badass. I mean, from her delivery and everything, like, it was amazing. Yeah, I think I've used this in a lot today, but she was actually amazing. I mean, from the way she was able to carry herself, she had to play the role of an angel. She had to carry herself with authority, and also to be able to embody that. She was also able to embody the character of an angel, character of authority and all that. That was actually amazing. Now, the dialogue in the movie, was actually quite strong, quite witty. It was actually kind of like a lot of power in it, but I mean, and it was really enjoyable to a certain point. But then there was something about the delivery of some of these lines now on the dialogue. There's something about the delivery that despite the fact that these dialogues were actually strong and weighty, the delivery of some of the lines were not too good. So because of that, the dialogue was not at the certain points where they were supposed to be, hits, like where you're supposed to feel them, they weren't so punchy, so you didn't really feel the effect of the dialogue in those areas. Some of the words we were supposed to use, like I said, they weren't very punchy. So I feel the dialogue was okay. It was just in the delivery by some of the actors. Now onto the director of this movie, Toka Magbara. Toka Magbara is actually an amazing, diverse filmmaker. Like he has the experience when it comes to camera and cinematography. So the cinematography in this movie is short-taken and everything. We're actually pretty good. He did an amazing job. He did a very good job when it comes to cinematography of Made in Heaven. I mean, I know there were a lot of had to do a lot of CGIs because they had.
It is another moment for us to be together on radio once more as we officially welcome you to this segment on African Patriot Radio. Studio time check is exactly 4:33 p.m. That's 27 more minutes before we hit 5 o'clock. My name is Elvis Ogan.
And then my name is Josephine Pauls right here. And how time flies, actually.
How time flies.
Yes.
It's actually a very bright and beautiful Wednesday evening.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Woman Crush Wednesday.
Yeah,
Let me ask
WCW.
you are the man. So who's going to be your Woman Crush Wednesday today?
Why is every lady I've come across today asking me that? MJ actually asked me that in the morning, and I told her my Woman Crush Wednesday is actually all the ladies like yourself that are actually trying to make sure that we have a better society.
Nice one there.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay, let's basically do some trends and talk. If you just check, it's still all about the second or third phase of the easing of the lockdown, and coupled with some other stories and hashtags we've been dealing with for a couple of days now. So I think it's more like a relief to the aviation industry. As June 21st has been set aside for domestic flights to resume, with federal government naming about 5 airports who are to commence operation by June 21st.
That is extremely amazing. I feel like a lot of people are excited about the whole situation happening right now because from the day the presidency announced or made the announcement of the relaxing of the lockdown, everybody has just been, happy, and at least the minds of people, especially in this part of the world we are in, everyone's just excited and happy, hoping for a positive change and a positive, outcome towards it. So it's a good one. And also the movement, travel across to other countries, right?
No, just domestic flight for now.
For states, like state.
Now.
Okay.
Interstate.
I think it's a good one. We're seeing a good outcome so far. Like everyone's just hoping for positively.
Okay, let's try to solve a puzzle here.
Yeah.
If domestic flights are to reopen on June 21st, are we possibly looking at the lifting of the ban on interstate travel on that day, because I don't think flights can travel within the same state. That means they are going to travel from one state to another.
Obviously,
so the puzzle is more like the ban on interstate travel might be lifted.
I think it might be lifted as well too, because it's almost the same thing. If we can go domestic travels and also, I mean, interstates too. I think though, my own concern is that with all this that's actually relaxing, like the whole situation right now, everything coming to normal, let us still try to adhere to all the precautionary measures that's been given to everyone, because regardless, I think it's just that it's high time that we just try to survive and live with the whole thing that's happening, COVID-19, coronavirus. Slowly, we're getting over it, and at least the minds of people are just all relaxed and happy right now. So whatever the situation is, let's not stop, trying to curtail it, like following
quite a very candid one right there, because we shouldn't get carried away by the fact that things are beginning to return back to normalcy gradually, like you said. But if we look at it very well, yesterday we were talking about being caught between the whole situation with coronavirus is more like being caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, because you try to strike a balance by keeping life and keeping livelihood.
Exactly.
Because without livelihood, life might not be there. So we were talking about if we tend to remain in lockdown or on lockdown, time will come that if coronavirus don't kill people, hunger or some other things could actually kill people. So I think it is in this regard, or in this line, that the government actually thought it wise to see that let them relax some of those stiffer do I call them strategies put in place to see that we manage the situation or we cover it. But for now, I think people have actually gotten used to it. Recall from the beginning when we were talking about most times the coronavirus actually reinstill that culture of discipline in us, where people don't really tend to wash their hands regularly. But with this now,
it's now a routine. It's like a way of life right now. I was going to hit on that particular aspect too, because I think right now that the whole lockdown is being relaxed, and everyone is just trying to come back to their normal selves. I think it has a whole lot of advantage that the whole situation has brought everyone to, like you're talking about washing of hands, and that is actually making everyone to be hygienic enough. And then talking about the whole social distancing thing, it has helped taxi drivers, and it has helped people as well to be able to sit, especially in taxis. People are now sitting 3, where before there were 4 people at the back seat of the cab, and it has actually reduced, and that's making people very comfortable at now taking the bus or taking a taxi. You understand? So and then sometimes people carry 2 in front, but right now because of the situation, it's just been 1 passenger in front and 3 or 2 at the back. So a whole lot of advantage has come, benefit has come with the whole easing, and so I hope that it will just continue like the normal way and the positive way as well. Okay,
even in as much as what we're talking about is quite important, it's sounding more like we're trying to digress a little bit from what we brought up with this thing. We were talking about domestic flights about to resume on June 21st, and then there are actually some specific airports that have been shortlisted or that have been listed out to be among those these 5 airports that we commence the reopening of domestic flights, and we'll have to run through them quickly. And we have the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja here, then Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, Omagwa International Airport, Port Harcourt, and Sam Mbakwe Airport, Owerri. Other airports will be gradually added to the network after a review and assessment.
Well, I was looking forward to hearing Margaret Ekpo's airport in Calabar, Cross River State.
Okay.
But it looks like gradually it's going to be
they'll add that one gradually. Because like when you made mention of Calabar, the airport right there, what came into my mind is the tourist activities that actually happen right there in Calabar, precisely the capital of Cross River State. Because when we were treating the case of Tanzania that opened their airport recently, we saw that one of the reasons why they had to do that was for their tourism, because of how much revenue they generate from tourism and all of that. I think
I'm amazed right now. I'm almost stammering because I'm amazed how so much of Cross River State, like my state in particular. Yes, during the time of Donald Duke, yes, he really raised a lot of funds towards our tourist, activities like that is found there in Cross River State. I think it's a good idea you actually came up with. And the states, the federal level of our country, I wish it can actually be
tap
taken
more into
exactly into considering about the whole terrorist. Like we can find something to make more funds to our country, right? And actually, I hope it's gives a thing of concern to,
because we really have some of those those amazing views and natural, do I call them monuments or ornamental views that could actually serve as tourist attraction
for people.
that people recently in my village, I think one was discovered where they have this waterfall that's in Oju, precisely Benue State. Yeah, where people, I've seen my friends snap picture around there, and they go for hiking almost every Saturday there.
Amazing.
And like I'm missing already. I can't wait. When next I'm home, I think I need to go check it out and see how we could see if we can tap into
Nigeria is actually blessed. We were blessed in this part of the world, and with all the natural resources that God has given to us, I just hope that we are able to utilize it and make the most out of it, the best out of it, rather.
Okay, I think with that particular story, that will lead us into talking about what the World Bank has actually advised Nigeria to do. I came across a story that actually made our news bulletin. Where the World Bank was advising Nigeria to tap more into the mining industry rather than wait for the price of the crude to become better, because it might not be as expected, because we're looking at possible or oversupply from other oil producing countries. And when it happens that way, you know what happened, the law of demand sets in.
True.
And then when there's so much supply in place, the price reduces. Those relationships actually comes into play. So I'm seeing how we just go through the main body of the story, where the World Bank has actually advised Nigeria to develop its mining sector to help mitigate the post-COVID-19 economic shocks rather than wait for a rebound of oil prices in the global market. The tax team leader on sector support of economic diversification project at the World Bank, Mr. Mike Stanley, said Nigeria should not wait for oil prices to rebound, as doing so might not yield the expected result because of the possibility of an oversupply of the commodity in the market from other oil-producing countries, including Saudi Arabia. We know most times when some countries are actually having difficult times and they know that the mainstay of their economy is petroleum, what OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Producing Countries, do is just for them to regulate production from other countries so that the price can go up, and then those market can actually just gear up and do a lot of upward movement regarding their price and revenue generation.
True.
But this is coming from World Bank advising Nigeria to see that they develop their mining sector, if rather than wait for the price of crude to show up, because it will not yield the expected result.
True. Because with the whole situation right now, we're seeing that the economy was slowly, coming down into a lot of crisis. Like people were just being, shocked. People were were scared about the whole situation. Like, I mean, how can we be bounced back and be more effective because of the lockdown? COVID-19 situation turned everything around. But I just like the fact that
it's not just even peculiar to Nigeria. I think it has affected the global economy to a large extent.
Exactly.
I was doing research this morning when I saw in some quarters that India precisely actually sunk about so much amount of money that when it was calculated, it covers about 70 to 80 years allocation or budget of Nigeria. They had to inject it into their economy so that they see the economy bounce back to life. So I watch a program where somebody was talking about what smart countries have actually done. I think they have gotten over the shock of COVID-19. They are already planning on what the after effect, what will happen at post COVID-19. And he was talking about Nigeria is still here. I think we're discussing the issue of the school feeding program that from some quarters they were insisting that it should go on even while the kids were not in school. And somebody was like, instead of us to be thinking of what should be after COVID-19, look at what we're still talking about. So basically this is coming from World Bank, and if Nigeria can take it to this advice, it will actually go a long way and help cushion the effect, the post-effect of COVID-19.
Exactly. Whatever will bring forth income and benefit to the country is what we should go for. Right? You talked about the petroleum. Yes, we talked about petrol. Like that's where we actually get our source of income.
The mainstay of the economy.
Mainstay of the economy, and then we're talking about mining. Substituting that aspect of the petroleum, which is a good idea. I mean, thing, because we're hoping for something positive, and we hope to see results as well. So if this can actually be put in place, and then we get to see results, and the country has the benefits, to business, personal lives, and everything. Then it's
because sometimes when we're talking about when people tend to say a problem known is half solved, and then over the years we tend to repeat same speeches or same statement or same suspicion that, okay, this is our problem. How come they have not been solved till now? And we're talking about everybody come on the premise of manifestos or promises of diversification of the economy into other sectors. Even though the present administration has actually done a lot to that effect. We saw what they have channeled into agriculture. And then when the present governor of Ekiti State, the president of Dr. Kayode Fayemi, was the minister of mining sector, we saw the much success that was recorded. But like we said, the necessity from his state actually cut short his reign as the minister of the mining sector. But Nigerians were all happy when they said that Ajaokuta Steel was about to be revived and the whole chunk of money was committed into it. And because we know the numerous effects that could buy from reviving Ajaokuta. We have so many of those things that were actually functional during the military era and slightly after independence. But most of these companies are actually moribund now. If we can actually get them working again, trust me, things will actually change for the better, because that would deal to a large extent the issue of unemployment, and then we have more revenue generated, and then we have several or multiple ways of generating revenue. So if the oil is not doing well, we have other things to fall back on.
To fall back to, because it will affect the whole citizen, the whole country. As we've been talking about in most of our programs, talking about unemployment and solutions to it, and then all of these little things actually matters.
True.
That means there's nothing and there's no one that's insignificant. Everyone, loves the good side of everything that is good, so we go for it. So it's a positive one, and we're hoping to see result about that.
Okay, to everybody listening out there, I can actually deduce something from what Jojo just said. Everybody loves positive aspect of everything, and it doesn't just come free of charge. There's a price for everything. We work for it.
True.
So, and change begins with you. So if you can just do your own little beat and another person do his or her, trust me, we'll get there gradually.
True.
Okay, we've been talking about some ugly trends that have actually been happening in the country and all over the world. When we're even talking about global economy being hampered by COVID-19, it struck my mind to talk about what's been happening in the United States for some days now. That's going to tell on their economy as well. And we all know how that will tend to hamper on the economies of other countries that depend in one way or the other for goods or some things from the United States of America as well. So if we are saying that some of these ugly trends that we've been talking about, the brutality and racism in United States actually spark up a series of controversies, and we've seen people generated hashtag to talk about that, and that's actually happened all over the world. I was quite surprised to see that there was a planned protest to that effect in Lagos, and then all for me to wake up this morning to see that there was a protest in Abuja here at the U.S. Embassy to that effect as well.
That is nice. I feel like a lot of people are just there's a whole lot of effects are happening right now, because the whole social media, everyone is just making a hashtag about the whole raping situation and the brutality, and so I think somehow it's actually because we're seeing this right now, and we're seeing people not relenting and being restless about the situation. So it's a good word.
Most concern of most Nigerians or most people is the fact that we've not finished dealing with the issues at home at hand. Why go so far to the extent of staging a protest? Even though we all know that all Black lives matters, but people feel we should at least finish dealing with. How many protests have we seen regarding the justice for Tina, justice for Uwa, and several other things that has been happening in the country? And then in a very sad mood, while we are busy talking about justice for some of the few cases that were brought up, we saw other cases that actually sprang up as well. And it's not the situation is so worrisome to the extent that it's not all about maybe people coming out to talk about things that have happened to them, maybe rape cases that have happened in the past. As we speak, we have fresh cases of rape being brought forward again.
I came across a video that just broke my heart. Like, I saw a 4-year-old child. Her mom was reporting that she was raped by a very mature man that is old enough to be even her grandfather. Like, this was so sad, and it was posted by a social media blogger, popularly known on Instagram, Tunde Notes, and then everyone was like reacting to it. It's quite devastating that everything is just happening all at once. We're trying to deal with one case of one situation, we're seeing another one, and then every day just becomes, I don't know if it's a way of life, but because it's very devastating and very sad about the whole thing. I just hope that justice would just be taken into effect as soon as possible.
I was actually having a chat with the head of station earlier on where he was talking about people really need to be careful the way they react or the way they handle issues like this when they come up, because by the time you make a statement, you wouldn't know what it would translate to mean to another person. You could be dragged for it. And even when you are not saying anything, I think when he said that, I said, at least let me go and post against rape before people we say another thing. But it's not really funny at all. I saw a girl that was actually venting and from a little reporter I did about the girl. She was a victim once as well. And she was talking about, can you see that we're actually living with beasts in this world?
Quite sad.
Especially the case of the girl, the Uniband 100 level student in Edo State that actually happened in church.
Yes.
And it does not stop at raping her, like killing her.
Just mother.
It's not it at all. It's not it at all, and it's really bad.
Well, I think that in this time, I think before I even left the house this morning, my mom looked into my eyes like, be careful, like be very, very careful, be self-conscious, and these days are just full of evil. But that is not to put fear in our hearts. You understand? Everyone needs to be careful as much as possible, because we're trying to deal with a pandemic situation, COVID-19, and then some people within us that would be just supposed to be helping out and reaching out to people, because we're talking about reaching out to loved ones, we're talking about helping each other. You understand? Everyone was trying to follow the precautionary measures. Everyone was trying to see if it can be of help to people, and then some other place, some people are killing people, some people are raping people. With all of this happening right now just at once, everyone has to be very careful.
We're talking about solving some puzzles with solving different puzzles with a particular story. And we tend to look at, okay, there are some courses that we go to school to study in Nigeria, and then when people come out with degrees or certificate in these courses, we don't tend to attach importance or premium to these courses. Meanwhile, those little things that might have been their roles or their job in the society leave this vacuum to create this kind of situation or ugly trend that we're talking about. Take, for instance, I was having a chat some times back as well with the head of station. He was talking about when someone is having a psychological problem, a trauma, instead of going to see a psychologist or a doctor who is specially trained for to that effect, some of us tend to see our religious leaders who the advice they might give us might be religiously okay, but logically it might not attend to that particular situation at hand. Okay, you were talking about a situation of pandemic at hand. If a series of study and analysis have shown that we had issues of violence, gender-based abuse, and all of that rose to a peak or rose during the lockdown period, that means having these people at home with their kids have actually sparked up something, and then you tend to trace at the origin of the problem. It has to start with the mind of the people. So people that have been having some trauma, also, even though it's never a justification for any act or criminal act they have created. I was sharing with the studio engineer before we came on air, where somebody posted something where they were trying to blame people, maybe indecent dressing, for causes of rape, and they were like, the victims of rape should never be blamed. Do you know what one girl said? She said, she was referring to the Holy Book. She said, the snake met Eve naked at the Garden of Eden. He never raped her. So no justification for rape. Exactly,
no justification for it, because this is plainly evil. So because we had a lockdown that kept people in their homes, that affected them regardless psychologically or otherwise, that does not give room to you coming to do something very bad, something that would leave a scar or mark in someone's life for ever eternity. Do you understand that someone will actually find it so hard to get over it? It's evil, and it needs to be just addressed and taking justice into taking it to consideration. Like, justice has to be done and considered all that.
Just yesterday, still concerning story that came up regarding the whole rape situation in the country at the moment. People are now taking a look at our constitution, how much it frowns at acts like this. And they were trying to look at age of consent, which is said to be the minimum age considered for someone to actually yield or stand to decide if she or she is willing to participate in sexual activities. And then there was some misconception yesterday. Some people were talking about it to be 11-year-old, but when we did our research, we discovered that 11 years of age was for the 1990 Constitution. And Constitution has already been amended in 1999. So we looked at it, and there was this Child Right Act of 2003, Section 31, subsection 3A, that talked about the age of consent being 18. But why it was not stated that way is because we've not really frowned so much about child marriage in this part of the world, where you recall sometimes where there were campaigns and protests against about child not bride, when a very big elite in the country got married to a 13-year-old child. With the consent of the parents, people could feel, okay, that could actually go. That was why it was not stated. So we studied those things this morning, and we talked about them. So I think it goes beyond being on the social media and then joining the bandwagon of the hashtag. We have people at position that could actually change the narrative. So if we can start from our legislation, where the lawmakers at plenary can actually go and look at how they could tackle this thing from the legal angle, and then see how we can have more capital punishment or penalty for sex offenders, it will actually go a long way.
Truly. Law enforcers, I think it's actually a good point there, because regardless of the whole situation, everybody's just posting how many people are actually, putting this into consideration, how many people are actually following the law, and how many penalties have been actually set and, taken into justice and all. So I think it's a good one that everyone actually follows that.
Okay, from far away Kenya, we just came across a story about a female comedian that had recorded something we could actually call a milestone, where her story has been picked to be airing alongside some of her senior colleagues in the industry. Yes, so even though if we are talking about things that actually sound so devastating or not sound too good, let's talk about things that could actually spice up people's lives a little bit.
Yeah, so in the entertainment, it sounds like Kenya.
Yeah, Kenya. Comedian Elsa Majimbo has actually, whose work has been featured on television station Comedy Central Africa. Her short, hilarious videos are set to be aired on the Comedy Channel. And she shared the news with her fans on social media, saying that her shows will be featured throughout this month of June.
That's one. I think the music industry, especially the entertainment side, like people actually coming up to do things regardless of the COVID-19 situation. So it's a good one to the comedian there.
Okay, I saw some about was that two weeks ago, where people who happens to belong to a particular union, a particular set, like let's take for instance entertainers now, come out to aid their minds. We saw footballers or athletes in Kenya also came out to talk about the government relief packages for the COVID-19. And I was wondering, we've actually heard stories of football clubs. Some football clubs did not take pay cut, even though the matches were suspended, but they saw that, okay, these players were loyal to their club while the leagues were on and all of that. So they took it upon themselves to see that, okay, these people actually still got their pay as regular and as at when due. But what happens to other sporting activities or people that partake in other sporting activities but they are not signed to club? Take, for example, like the athlete. So the Kenya government thought it wise to see that they gave some relief package to them. But the problem was they had numbers like 25. The relief package only covers for 25 people. But the professional body in charge of the football in Kenya has actually come out to tell the government that there are some teams that have more than 25 people. So who now account for them?
I know it's a good one for sports lovers and football lovers too, for positive things happening on the sport aspect of the football. So a good one to them, and we're just hoping that these footballers would just come out and perform effectively on the sport aspect of it.
Okay, a quick one on that regard. We've actually seen some veterans in the industry or in the sporting sector that have actually come out to do a whole lot of support when the COVID-19 was at its peak. We saw some of them give cash, some of them donated their houses, their facilities, the likes of the Drogba and the rest. So, like you say, it's actually a good one. So, the bottom line is, if you have more than enough, or if you have that can actually cater for your brother or your neighbor, just do well and help everybody. Okay, like you said from the beginning, how time flies.
How time flies.
We just need to run out of the studio at the moment. I don't know if you have anything to leave our listener with.
Well, we've been talking about trends and all, and we've been delving into things that are happening. Well, I'll just say that regardless of everything happening, everyone has to still stay positive and stay safe. It's very important because on my program, the Security Report, I always say that security is everyone's business. So if you see something, always say something because it's all for the benefit of everyone and our country.
Okay, thank you so much for riding with me, and to everybody who has been part of the program this evening, it's a very big thank you from myself and Josephine Paul. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same station. Let's do this. Until then, my name is Elvis Oga. I'd like to leave you with this song coming from Mr. UK. He calls this song The Child. We're dedicating this song to everybody who has been a victim of one form of abuse or the other. And since the reggae tune, we're actually using this to remember the legend who just passed, talking about Major Fashek of blessed memory. Yeah. Our heart is with the family and his fans and the well-wisher. Like the manager said yesterday, it's more like celebration of his much achievement when he was alive and he has gone to be with the Creator. So from me and Josephine Paul, it's a bye-bye for now. Enjoy this one, Mr. UK, The Child.
You know, children are the living messages we send to a time we will never see. Let us take care of the future leaders. Let's stop child trafficking. Accurate and Mr. UK say so. Alright, listen up now. I said, children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. Oh, yo. I say, children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. So why do we give them so much sorrow? I say children are the leaders of tomorrow. Let me break it down now. See, I woke up that morning, I had the voice of that innocent child. Hamadan won't kill him more just because of an ordinary rice. I try. See, I picking there for school, we won't beat her but do eating anything and anytime that she want to. But here is a richer drinking and eating cries. Whatever you do to that your neighbor, oh yeah. Whatever you measure for all of them shall becomes yours. Whatever you do to that your brother, oh yeah. Whatever you measure for your sister shall come back to you. That's why me talk to say stop child trafficking. Stop child trafficking. Stop child trafficking. You got to stop child trafficking if you want them to be great in life and be greater than you. Stop child slavery. Stop child slavery. I say stop the molestation. Stop child slavery. You got to stop child raping if you know that you got a conscience and you are not at peace. Ooh, yeah. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. The leaders of tomorrow. I say children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. They are the leaders of tomorrow. You know that children are the leaders of tomorrow. Why do we give them so much? Why do we give them so much? I say children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. Yaga now, yaga future. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Why do we give them so much sorrow? I say children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. See, when you traffic a child, you kill him emotionally, preventing him to sound sharp educationally. The result go come back to early societies. Why yo? That's why you see teenagers going to prostitution. Many of the boys turn into rugged hoodlums. Now result of negligence coming from parents and government. Our papa and mama no be by force so to born children plenty. But the one way you go fit to handle their responsibilities. Put them for school law or make them an apprentice. To our government now, education for the teenagers should be free. Monitor law enforcement agencies. Make sure our children are prevented from trafficking. That's why me begging say stop child trafficking. Stop child trafficking. You got to stop child trafficking. I say stop child trafficking if you want them to be great in life and be greater than you. Stop child If you know that you got a conscience and you are not a beast. Ooh, yeah. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. You already know that. I know that. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. So you can remind us. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Why do we give them so much sorrow? Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. Can you sing it one more time, sir? Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Why do we give them so much sorrow? I say children are the leaders of tomorrow. Understand that. You see, old men can make war, but it is children who can make history. Children are like wet cement. Whatever falls on them makes an impression. They are the leaders of tomorrow. Let us support them. Let us stop child trafficking, child molestation, and child raping. Mr. UK, Akure, and all Igede sons and daughters say no to child trafficking. Let us join them and make difference. Peace. No case on the mix.
It's IG.
You hold me down, girl, you hold me down, yeah. You hold me down, oh mama. This your waist, oh mommy, this your waist, yeah. This your waist, mama. My friends, they call me suffer head. Girl, I'm loving the way you spin up your body for my case, oh yeah, yeah. More anointing for my head. Girl, I'm loving the way you spend all the money for my pocket, oh yeah, yeah.
Baby, I feel to die for you. Say you know me, say you could turn me up and down like moo. Yeah, like moo. Girl, I feel to swear for you. And you go catch you, catch you. Yeah, you don't want me, make I enter the place, yo. But you go catch the boy all over the place, yo, baby. Because I dare you say I love you, and you know say I know they use you play. Play me, confuse me, go away. Baby, tell me why you do me so. Tell me why you do me so. For your case I don't follow. For your case I don't follow. I travel 7 sisters for your case, yo. Yeah, you think say the body I feel to die for you. Say you know me, say you turn me up and down like moo. Yeah, like moo. Girl, I feel to swear for you. And you go catch you, catch you. Yeah, you don't want me, make I enter the place, yo. But you go catch the boy all over the place, yo, baby.
Doshima, why you come to make me feel like say me a newcomer? Every day you give me one leg over. Hey, I said I saw woman take Kilimingo. Temperature 1 key commando. I'm rub off in my body and so girl take up the pen and paper and bingo. Girl, you see me and you come.